Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, our husbands test us on how well we know our own beer stashes. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. Right, this was your idea.
Yeah. To be fair, we were at the beer spa over the weekend. And we were like, well, I don't know if this will all be what we recorded while we were there, spoiler alert, would be ready in time or put together in time for the gap that we had. So like, oh, what can we record? What can we record? And I thought, we've sent each other mystery beers. We've ordered mystery beers from breweries. You gave me so many beers when we met up in person.
I only brought like 4 home. Gordon was so pleased. You've got like an entire 24 box.
I've got a 24 box of beer. So really, this is massively screwing up my yearly goals for 2025. So I was like, why don't we have our husbands create 3 mystery beers for us? When I say create, I mean like put together 3 mystery beers. And then you were like, yeah, all right, YOLO, let's do it. No, I paraphrased what you said.
Yeah, I didn't say YOLO. You say YOLO. I said, YOLO. That sounds cool, is what I said, because I am not down with the kids.
It sounds cool. And I went, yeah, what I heard was YOLO.
So I got Gordon to literally just go in. I told him he could go in any of my beer fridges. I would have to. He came in just the top one. And I did tell him to just like kind of look at the ABVs, don't pick anything like crazy high. But this afternoon he picked 3 beers and he wrapped them, and then he has delightfully labelled them. So I have one that's labelled Budweiser, one that's labelled Foster's, and one that's labelled Carling. Now, you can tell that Gordon is not the one who wraps the presents in the house, because the paper has literally just been scrunched at the bottom and some of them are having trouble standing up right now. But it'll be great. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
What makes me laugh is the fact that Rick came in as he was doing mine and he literally went, obviously if I wrap it in paper, you can't get to the can opening.
Yours is very comprehensive.
And then he went, so how do you want me to do? Do you want me to like tuck it in at the bottom? And I literally went, I mean, yeah, just tuck it in at the bottom. That's okay. Yeah. And then he went, but how's it going to stand up? And I went, I'll make it work. It's fine.
And
he went, I'll just cut the top.
All of mine are leaning. In fact, I might take a photo in a minute of them all just kind of doing a little lean.
I'm peeing myself. That's amazing. Because of the fact that Rick was like, I can't do that. He's like, I cut the bottoms, so it's fine. I was like, I would have done. I'm the rapper in the household, and I was like, I would just nicely tuck the bottom in. It's fine.
They're covered. It's fine. They're covered.
It's fine. Yeah. That's funny that you let him go whatever, any beers you want. I had stipulate like because I've got some stuff that's like really properly don't. I've got some stuff set aside for the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I've got some stuff that's like age stuff and special stuff and whatever. So I was very clear. I was like, to do this as easy as possible, no bottles.
Yeah, I did stipulate cans only.
I said cans only. If you're going to get anything from the stout cupboard, it has to be from like 2023 onward. Like I've got it labelled.
You were so comprehensive. I was just like, go in the fridge and pick out 3 beers and cover them in paper.
Because he literally went, I need you to give me specific instructions on what I'm doing so I don't mess it up. So I was like, okay. So I literally wrote it down. He was on a call, so I wrote it down for him because I knew I was going to be on a call all day.
Yeah.
And I went, here you go. I was like, you can pick from this fridge, this area, like cans only.
Yeah.
If you go to the stout cupboard from this year onward, because anything that's older than that's most likely either I never got around to drinking it or I'm saving it for a particular reason. Either one, I'm like, I don't want something that's that old that I've got to try to guess. It's my shame shelf. I don't want to have to try to guess it. So I was like, let's go with these ones. And he was like, okay, cool. And then he started being like, oh, can you tell by the tops the cans? And I went, maybe. And I was like, but that's part of like, can I guess what I have?
Yeah.
How well do I know my own beers in my stash? And I did tell him, try to make it hard. So whatever he's done, he's tried to make it hard. I said, give me a clue, which we then agreed that clue. He wanted comprehensive to know. So he was doing consistent clues that weren't too easy, what he should do. So instead he wrote the county it was in. Because I said, like, don't,
Okay.
he's like, should I do the area? And I said, yeah, that's fine. But
Gordon
maybe roughly.
I
went roughly because I went, if you just go York, I'm going to be like, what could be in my stash that's in York? Probably Brew York. And he went, what if I say like Yorkshire? That could be Leeds. I went, why don't you just go Scotland, North, Midlands, South? And I was like, that keeps it vague. So he was like, okay, that's fine. So I think he's done that. And then he was wrapping it and he went, well, you could see through it with the white paper. I gave him 3 pieces of paper and I went, use these. The paper that I gave him was when remember at Halloween, I got my Sanderson sisters Lego brick, fake Lego bricks, right? I only had the digital copy. Okay. So in my genius, I was like, let me kill the environment and print it out so I can have it for years to come. This will be great. Like nothing is going to go wrong here. And then I went, but you know what? I'll do my bit for the environment, aka I'll make it so that I don't waste any more coloured ink than I needed to. I'll do it in black and white. Dickhead didn't realise until probably 5 pages from the end that you need the colour.
Oh, yeah, because you need the colour bricks. Oh, dear.
I printed out 100, back and front, 100 and something steps. It was back and front, so it's probably more like 60 pages or whatever, but like 60 pages, let's call it, of steps that I couldn't use. So I now use them to stick the beer labels over. So I went, use these so you're going to see.
Okay.
You're watching the video. You can see one of the Sanderson sisters on my can, but this is what they look like. And he's got a note under it's a can wrapped lovely, cut off at the bottom with a red sticky note that says 1, 2, or 3 on it. You've got fun labels on yours.
I've got mine are labelled Budweiser, Foster's, and Carling because he thinks he's funny.
It is funny though.
Just stuffed in. I mean, it does the job. So
it does do the job.
See what happens.
I did. So it was funny though. I gave him the rundown and I said, like, look, when you label them 1, 2, or 3, can you at least just put some thought into like what order you're putting them in? I was like, if you're going to pick like a mega sour or something like that, or really fruited beer, don't put it before like a pilsner or something. Right. I was like, that's too much. Like, don't do that. And he was like,
I don't even know what order these are in, so it'll just be whatever I open. I'm gonna take a picture of them, just kind of leaning here.
I love that. You saw them and they're just like leaning and you're like, Budweiser's gonna fall.
Carling is looking like the
Carling on its way out
right now. Leaning Tower Carling.
You should be taking a photo behind it, trying to like push it up. Oh, that's brilliant. Right. Shall we get on to the first one? Find out how well we know what is in our own bits.
All right, just start with...
How well do you think you're gonna do? That's the question.
I might be okay. I think I might be okay. We'll see how we go. Do I start with Budweiser, Foster's, or Carling?
Start with... Where do you start though? What a lineup! What's your favourite out of those 3?
Out of those 3, I've probably drunk.
Oh, start with. I was going to say start with Foster's because there was that one time that you were like, it's not bad.
I don't mind that. Now I'm trying to turn it away from me because you can kind of see a little bit through the label of this one, so we're gonna turn it away so I can't guess.
I'll let you do. Let's do it one at a time. I'll let you do yours first, and then I'll do mine. And also apologies to everyone for the volume level. I have new headphones on. I can't hear myself. I'm probably screaming. Cannot hear it.
I don't think I've got very clean glasses at the moment. Oh,
I don't think mine's either.
This is not the colour I thought it was going to be.
Oh, so it doesn't align with almost what you thought it might be.
It was, yeah.
So there you go. You were going, I can kind of see in there. What's it going to be? I feel like the colour, for anyone that's watching the video, could probably guess what it is. Could be a porter.
It could be a stout or porter. I think it might be an oatmeal stout.
What's your colour? What's your colours and aromas?
It is very dark brown with a bit of a red highlight, and it's got a nice beige head.
I was going to say that is a lovely beige head.
The head's lingering quite nicely. It's got that really lovely, like I've got a stout smell. Like it's a bit of roasted coffee.
Oof.
Like a bit of chocolate, like dark chocolate, maybe a little bit of vanilla. From the fridge that it's in, I think I know what it is.
I was going to say, what's difficult as well is I think I know where Rick got all mine from, but even then I don't really know the order. If he got them all from where I think and he didn't go grab any others, I don't think any of mine are stouts. But then I put them all in the fridge, and the difficulty is now you're tasting it slightly cold because we just took them out of the fridge.
Yeah, this is a little bit too cold. I was literally about to say I think this is a little bit too cold. I think this is an oatmeal stout, and I think I know who it's from.
Okay, who do you think it is?
I think this is the last beer I've got in my fridge from Black Iris.
Right, okay.
I can't remember what the name is, but I thought I remember that I bought us a couple of beers back from Black Iris when I was in Nottingham in the summer. Yeah. And I thought...
I think I let you have the oatmeal stout that you were going to give to me because you said...
No, I bought one of each because I got the wrong ones because I thought I'd picked up something else. And instead I picked up the oatmeal stout.
Yeah, and I think I might have said to you, I can't remember if I took it.
Maybe that's why I think I drank it.
I think I said to you, don't worry about it. Don't worry, because I was like, I don't need that many beers. Just keep it, don't worry.
Because I didn't think it was an oatmeal stout. I thought I had the best bitter. But actually, this is obviously an oatmeal stout. But I think this is, from the fridge that it's come out of, I'm pretty sure this is the oatmeal stout from...
That also aligns with why you were like, I can kind of see the writing on it, so I think I know what it is. But then you went, I wasn't expecting it to be this colour, because obviously a lot of their labels is black and white.
Yeah. So I thought it might have been the best bitter, but it's not. I think I've drunk the best bitter and I've got the oatmeal stout left. I haven't now because I'm drinking it right now. But I think this is Black Iris. I think it's an oatmeal stout. I can't remember what it's called. Do I need to know what it's called as well?
No.
Okay.
No. I think I feel like if you get that, you are good.
I think it's Black Iris and I think it's an oatmeal stout. That's my guess.
Okay.
It is very delicious. I'm enjoying it.
Let me do mine while you drink yours, and then we'll open together. So that's my one. It's a black top on it, which I feel like my initial instinct is like, if it's a black top, I'm like, it could be Siren.
I was going to say, I would say Siren.
But then I'm like, but there's two black tops. And I was like, would he give me two black tops? And I know there's some others that have used it. Like I know Neon Raptors used black tops before. I know a few people have used black tops, but the only ones that stick out in my brain are that, if there's one that I bought, I hope it's not the one that I bought to share with him and he's just wrapped it up for me. I think that They Live from Neon Raptor had a black top on it. I had it in a share with Ruth and Rachel. And then when we went back to the Hive, there were still cans of it there. And because of something that I don't want to say in case it's so loud that Rick can hear me, I wanted to bring this can home for him to try it because I thought this is going to be...
I know you're drinking it.
He's going to be like, this amazing... No. Well, if this is what it is, I'm going to know immediately. Yeah. And I will know before I've even finished pouring it, but I'll be gutted because I bought it to share with him. All right, let's go. No, I think based on the head inside of it at the moment, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Oh, it's very foamy.
Oh, no.
Ooh. It's leaking on the paper, so I'm trying not to look at the paper. I mean, it's so foamy at the moment. I know that it's like lager coloured.
Okay. That could be a sour, though.
Well, it could be. But that's the best way I could think to describe. Very light, like very pale colour. There's lots of bubbles though. Hold on, let me try to clear some of this foam out. I just feel like I reckon it's going to be a Siren. This is probably the best I'm going to get. It's very, very foamy. Poured incredibly foamy.
Okay, yeah. Give it a sniff.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm wondering what the hell beer he's grabbed. This is probably a IPA or a pale ale of some sort.
Okay.
But I imagine it's probably quite old.
Okay.
Because it smells like it smells like it's like potentially not its best. Like, you know when you smell like a pale ale or something and you go, oh, I bet that was okay at one point, but it's probably not anymore.
Like the hops that we smell at the moment.
Yeah, a bit like that. But I can't tell if it's because the foam's getting in the way or what. But it's quite lemony.
Okay.
Quite citrusy. Oh god, it's leaking everywhere. To be fair, now that I'm smelling it better, I think it's alright, to be fair. I'm going to guess citrus used in this, whatever it is. It's the West Coast. Ooh. I can tell by the bitterness it's a West Coast.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I can see through the label now. It's pissed it through the label. Yeah, it is. I'll just show mine because it is there. It is leaky AF. And it says Berkshire as the clue. It is Elusive's Oregon Trail. Oh. And that makes sense because I had an older can that was lingering about. I reckon he's grabbed the older can.
Yeah.
Not the newer can.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm getting a slightly off taste from.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not off. It's just, you know, when it's been sat for just a bit too long. But I knew immediately that was a West Coast. Yeah. That's it.
All right, here's mine. It's called Fountains of Anguish Oatmeal Stout. There we go. Oh. From Black Iris. It's delish, Pete. So if you can still get it, grab yourself some of that.
To be fair, I will say... me saying it doesn't taste its best, it's not I love Oregon Trail. It's one of my, like, for West Coast, it's one of the best balanced. But this one, I just looked at the best before date. It was the one out of the two that was like off early last year. But best before early last year. So this is a 2023 brew. But I would say it's still like, it's surprisingly still drinkable. There's just like that extra, like the lemony notes are just like a little bit more pronounced now than they normally are when you have an Oregon Trail. So
okay,
there we go.
Interesting.
God, if that's what he's picked, what else has he picked?
Right. Okay.
Oh, right. Now becoming the how well do they know our stash? Right. He's pulling from a shame shelf.
So I'm getting the Carling next. Now there is some writing at the top of this one, and I'm trying to cover it so I can't see it. Carling.
Brilliant. I love that he's written Carling on it. That makes me chuckle.
Ooh. It looks like a soupy.
It looks like a soupy? Yeah. Ooh. You don't really have many soupies.
No, I know. So Christ, that's what this is. It's... Oh, it smells like it as well.
Juice bomb.
It smells like pineapple.
Sabro.
Yeah, it smells right like Sabro. Hang on, it's leaking like yours. It's leaking down.
It's leaking, and then you can see, and you're like, shit.
I'm trying to ignore it. So it's a very hazed kind of yellow, quite soupy looking. It had a white foamy head, which is starting to disappear. Lots of pineapple. Not so much coconut, so maybe it isn't Sabro.
Well, I was going to say, do you reckon it could be a sour? Could it be a fruited sour?
I don't think I've got anything that's Sabro-y. It could be a fruited sour. Do you know what? I've got some siren in there as well. It's not got a black top, though.
There's no black top on it yet. No, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
All right.
It just doesn't not mean something.
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's New England, but I don't know if I've got any New Englands in there.
I'd be thinking, like, what New Englands do you have?
Oh no, I think that's one of the Calypsos.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I don't want to influence your opinion, so I'm just not going to say anything.
Because there's definitely a zing to it.
Mm.
So it's not an IPA or a New England. It's less pineapple-y in the taste. It's more citrusy, more lemony. It's got a little bit of a twang to it. And I know I've got 2 out of the Calypso ones left over, which, again, shame shelf need drinking.
We were meant to podcast
we were
with
supposed
it,
to podcast with them and we didn't. And so they've been left there just in case and we never got around to it. But I think this might be original recipe Calypso. I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's original recipe Calypso from Siren.
I'm wondering if it would be double dry. Obviously, that's your guess.
It might be
I'm wondering if
double
it's
dry
double dry hopped because
it might be,
normal
right.
normal Calypso doesn't look like that.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe
it's too haze to be normal Calypso.
I thought I had normal Calypso left, and I thought I had the Negroni one left, but maybe I've got double dry hopped left in there as well.
I would have guessed if it was going to be a Calypso, the double dry hopped is where it would be, or one of the variants. Wow. And even the variants I feel like it wouldn't be that flavour profile. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I think it's a Calypso, but I don't know which one.
Okay.
Your turn.
I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something innovative. Hold on. I'm going to go get a beer koozie, which I'm hoping is going to hide when it starts leaking. Hang on.
That's a good idea.
So I've got one that was from The Alchemist. That's like proper,
that's a big boy
can
one.
size.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can actually get something in here without seeing what he's done. I think it's going to be hard.
Hide.
Actually, no, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's fine.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's fine. I've got it. And now I proper can't see it.
Completely hidden.
All right. It's silver top.
Genius.
So this could be anything. Well, it's either that or my Miller Lite NASCAR. That would cover all of it. You know how I feel about my Miller Lite NASCAR beer koozie. This one's like perfect for this experiment. Yeah. I needed more of these. Silver top.
I feel like you don't see the tall ones. Like I think all of mine are short can ones. Like they're.
I think it's probably because in the US where their cans are slightly taller as well. That's why.
Yeah.
Right. Not sure where this one's going to lead me.
I had a bottle one once.
This
Actually, I think I had 2 bottle ones. Oh, that's red.
It's red. This one's red with a pinky top. I don't know. I wasn't expecting because I just kind of thought, like, is he going to... Because there was another black topped one. I was like, is he going to F with me and give me, like, 3 sirens or something like that? Yeah. So, or 3 elusives at this point. This is great. So even when this spills, I still can't see what's behind it. It's fab. Yeah, so I would say it's not even like red. It's like a pinky red.
Yeah, it's like a cherry red.
Yeah, with a very, very like just off-white touch of pink colour head. That's lasting pretty well.
Yeah, that's a nice head.
Before I even smell any of it, I'm trying to go through my head of like what was in the cupboards that he went into. And I would hazard a guess off the bat that I want to say Yonder because I had quite a lot of Yonder, and I feel like this aligns.
Yeah.
With quite a lot of Yonder. Oh, and it smells like it could be Yonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you get the raspberry and like the raspberry and cherry notes.
Yeah.
Very heavily fruited, but you almost get that bit of acidity that you get in some of the sours where like I'm not sure it's going to be massively tart, but I would say it's probably going to be somewhat acidic. It's actually really pleasant. I'm enjoying the smell of it. Turn that into a candle. Interesting. I'm trying to work out what I had in the area he went into.
What does it taste like?
tastes just massively like fruit.
Okay.
Creamy fruit. Like it tastes like, it's like red berry for sure. So like your raspberry. I wouldn't say it tastes massively cherry or anything. It smelled more slightly cherry, but raspberry, creamy. I want to say it's Yonder, but what's his hint? What's the location? Scotland. Okay.
Oh. That's throwing you off. That's not Yonder.
I mean, no, it's a Vault City. That's 100% a Vault City.
There you go, yeah.
I was like adamant that I was like, it's got to be Yonder. And then when I pulled that back and I was like, oh shit, it's Scotland. I want to guess it's a Vault City, and I think it might be the triple berry. It's called like triple berry, not tiramisu. That's not the name of it. Like the triple berry trifle or whatever it was called. All right, let's find out. Okay. How do I get it out now without like ruining all of it?
I was completely wrong. I can already see through this. I was a little bit right on the pineapple. And I did. Mine is Scotland too.
Right. If this is not Vault City, I will be shook. It is definitely. Yeah, Danish berry pudding. That's what it was. I knew it was a dessert.
Right, so mine's Cold Town, and it's a citrus milkshake pale ale.
This is such a mess.
I completely forgot that I had that.
You do not know your stash.
I do not. I've not got that much in my stash now either.
I feel like you should have a better handle on it than I do. Yeah, this is it. The Danish berry pudding. I knew it was the berry pudding. I was like, what the F is it called? Yeah, it's enjoyable. I quite like it.
This is nice too. I had this for. I picked this up at when I went to the Women in Beer Festival.
I still feel shook that I was like, I've got so much Yonder. I bet it's a Yonder. And then the fact that I revealed that label and it was Scotland, I felt like not betrayed because I like Vault City, but I was a bit just like, what? Surely this is wrong. It's like Yonder aren't based there.
Well, I remember that I grabbed this one because it was a milkshake pale ale, and I don't feel like you see milkshake pale ales anywhere anymore.
Oh god, it's like Brew IPAs.
Right. Yeah, and this is so it's got oats and apple puree and lemon and red grapefruit juice for citrus sharpness. So that's where I was getting that sharpness that I thought was from Calypso in it. That means Calypso's still in my fridge.
That's what, when you were like, I think this might be Calypso. I was like, Calypso doesn't look like that.
Well, and then I was like, there's no pineapple in it, so I don't know where I was getting pineapple from.
There's the blind element of it, isn't it? This has. I knew that there was definitely lactose in it, because I was like, hands down, there's lactose. So it's got strawberry, rhubarb, red currant, lactose. So that's where the creaminess is coming from, and all the red berries. The label on this as well. Yeah, it's like beautiful pink, like dark pink, light pink, white, and navy blue kind of waves. Ripples. Yeah. Oh, that was an interesting round. I was shocked when you said Calypso. Right. Do you want to start going on?
I've now got Budweiser.
But yeah, do you want to get your Budweiser cracked open?
Yeah, let's crack open my Budweiser. Oh, it's actually Budweiser colour. It's a bit darker.
Can you imagine? He's like, it actually was Budweiser. I would have loved that if he went and he got you a Budweiser and wrapped it up. It was like, what is it?
I can't tell what this smells like.
Is it that there's like no distinct aroma, or is it just that you can't put your finger on what it is?
At first I thought it was like you know, that generic hoppy myrcene type smell.
Yeah.
But actually I think now I'm getting a bit more like maybe something like yuzu.
Ooh.
Or like melon or yuzu. I don't think I've got any yuzu beers in there.
No, I'd probably be the one with the yuzu beers.
Yeah.
I've got a few yuzu beers.
Or like underripe banana.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
I have no idea what this beer is.
I'm shook that you have so few beers and and that one is so distinct in how different it is that you're like, what is this one?
Maybe I'm getting underripe banana, but actually it's a combination of something like grapefruit and resin.
How lovely would it be if it was like, that's the Calypso? That'd be so funny. That'd be hilarious.
I believe they're in black cans, and this is.
Is it in a black can?
No, the lid is black, but the rest of it is silver, from what I can see. So I don't think it is.
I'm putting my money on Calypso because that would be hilarious. Taking it in. For those of us listening and not watching, she's taking in the flavors, trying to pick out what those flavors are.
It tastes like melon, but it's quite light.
Could have Huel in it.
It might do. I can't determine what style it is. It's got to be a pale ale, I reckon.
Is it because it's like it's not quite got that like lagery taste to it, but it's not.
If it is a lager, then it's been quite heavily hopped, and it's too
messed around with.
There's not that crispness.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a lager. I don't know what I'd have in my fridge that tastes like this.
I still feel like I'm going to put my money on it being Calypso, just because I think it would be funny if it was.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know.
DDH Calypso.
I want to let it sit and breathe a little bit.
Okay, do you want me to do mine and we'll come back to you? Okay.
And I'd like to come back to it.
Right. I have got another black top, which could mean it's Siren or Elusive. It could be that it's the beer that I got to share with Rick. It could be a number of things that I've got in the cupboard. Oh, I don't think that's what I expected. Oh, he bamboozled me. Oh, he really bamboozled me. Okay, It's a stout.
I mean,
or a porter.
It's the colour of a stout.
It's the colour of a stout of a porter, and it smells like a stout or a porter. It smells really rich and luxurious.
It looks beautiful.
It's a very dark colour. There's not like no light in there, and it's a very like coffee brown head that's holding very well. I thought my glasses were going to be filthy. I thought it wasn't going to be great. It just reeks of coffee notes in the best way possible. It just smells like coffee and chocolate. Coffee and like dark chocolate. So it's got that like richness to it as opposed to like, it's not a sweet chocolate. Cacao nib.
Yeah.
It almost smells a bit boozy as well. Like it's got a boozy edge to it. What's interesting is at no point did I ever see him go outside to get a beer.
Is that what your stouts are?
And well, what I think it might be is, given the label of it, like the can colour, I think it might be one of the Mavkas, because I still have a Siren Varvar. I still have 2 or 3 Siren Varvar Mavkas. And I'm wondering if it's that, but that was outside, and at no point did I ever see him go outside and wrap it.
Ooh.
But then I also only saw him come in this room, in which there's no stout in this room.
Yeah.
So, It's definitely coffee and chocolate. And there's like the bitterness of like cacao chocolate and roasty notes. Oh, I'm going to have to look at the hint because I can't. Yorkshire.
Oh.
That's
not Mavka then.
No, it's not Mavka. Shit. I don't think it's a Brew York. He said Leeds earlier. So I was like, is it Leeds based? No, is Northern Monk technically Yorkshire? I don't know if they're technically Yorkshire or not. I'm truly stumped. This has well and truly stumped me. But it is still a little bit cold, so I'm like, maybe give it a little bit longer. Because any of the stouts I was thinking further down south. I wasn't thinking Yorkshire. Okay. And now my brain's going blank of like who is in Yorkshire besides Brew York.
You got anything from Tartarus if you were saying Leeds?
Ooh, I do. But I think I'd be shocked. Oh, it's a black can as well. It could be Tartarus, but I would be really shocked if he pulled that for me on a weeknight when he wouldn't be drinking it.
Yeah.
I think he would have saved the Tartarus. But it does all align with Tartarus. So I might have to say, I think it might be Tartarus.
I don't have a clue who mine is. It's light.
Mine's incredibly decadent. That's the only word I can use. Decadent. There's a bit of nuttiness in there as well. I almost taste a bit like a very high-end like Snickers where you have like really like expensive bitter, like more bitter chocolate and then like posh nuts or something. Like that's the kind of like elevated Snickers bar. I think it needs to warm a bit.
I was wondering if this might be alcohol free, but I don't think it is because I don't think I've got any big cans that are alcohol free.
Interesting. Do you have any mash gang or anything left over from when we got mash gangs before?
No. I think the only alcohol free I've got are in small. I think I've got jump ships in small cans. So I think I'm lying to myself about that.
I think I'm going to commit mine to being, I think now that you've got Tartarus in my head, it has to be Tartarus. And I'm going to say this is probably a 10%. 10% beer. Me an Imperial Stout.
I literally don't have a clue.
Right. Should we just reveal what it is then?
Yeah, I literally
just make a guess. Just say Calypso. Just say Calypso. Just go, it's Calypso.
I mean, maybe...
I reckon the colour of it, maybe not the taste,
I don't think it is. I don't think the can's the right colour for it. It's a pale ale of some sort, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to do a blood ritual to get this one out. Oh, this one, that stopped the leaking quite well. Burnt milk.
No, this is Bavarian Haze. You've got one of these.
I do.
This is a double dry hopped 5-spear. Which is what... And...
What? You look like you were so annoyed.
That's why I got banana.
You look so
pissed off. Because it's a 5-spear.
You got incredibly annoyed with that. Yeah. I forgot
that was in there.
Mine is Tartarus.
I said it was Tartarus.
French pain
I guessed
stout.
yours. I couldn't guess my own.
Well, yeah, the second you said Tartarus, I was like, shit, you're right. But I just don't, I think like when I think Yorkshire, I'm like, Brew York. And then I'm like, who else is in Yorkshire? Like, and I just expected that label, that gorgeous label. I was like, there's no way with what it is and the fact it's a stout. I was wrong. It is 8.4, so it's not double digits quite. But I was thinking, he's never going to pick that for me to have on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I should have got that. I should have got that banana. I forgot that I put this in that fridge. So this is a double dry hop Weiss beer from Yankee and Kraut in Germany, and it's used Sabro, Eclipse, and Vic Secret.
Interesting. I guess maybe like I feel like what you're.
I was like
the wheat bit part of it, yeah.
Like the banana is coming from the wheat from the Weiss beer yeast.
I feel like I can see that maybe the Vic Secret is probably adding to that.
And when I said, oh, maybe it's grapefruit, like that's the different fruits that are coming.
Now that you know, it's all going to seem so obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
so do you think you comfortably know your own stash after this? No. Like you were like immediately no.
I've got I've got an even smaller stash than I had before, and I still like don't know what's in it. That's why I have a spreadsheet.
Same. I feel like I'm comfortable with it. I'm definitely comfortable with it, and I think if I use the aid of Google to say beers, breweries in Yorkshire, I probably would have been like, oh, it's obviously Tartarus on my own. But because I was trying not to like Google anything, that's the only one that I think I struggled with because I just went blank when I was like,
yeah,
I have so much Brew York as well that I'm like, shit. And I so much Tartarus, but I was like, he wouldn't want me to. No. He would want to share that, surely. But also, all the rest, I feel like.
To be fair, right. A double dry hop Weiss beer is
that's hard. That is hard. Right? That is hard. I was hoping I wasn't going to get any like really hard, tricky ones like that, but also kind of hoping I was. But I feel like mine were quite straightforward. The second I took a sip of the Oregon Trail, I was like, "That's obviously a West Coast." Like I knew immediately that was a West Coast, and the Vault City as well. It's like that was obviously either Vault City or Yonder. Like it couldn't have been anything else. But the stout is what threw me, I think, because it's still slightly cold as well. But like just the rich luxuriousness of the flavors, I was like, oh, what could that be? And then I was sat there thinking, like, I really hope he grabbed from the right shelf. I really hope he didn't take something that was like a special one that I was meant to be holding on to. I feel we did all right.
Yeah.
While we finish these, should we do a question or two?
Yeah, go on, just to pass the time. From the question jar.
All right, let's see what we end up with. Randomly selecting. Right. I have got. Ooh, this is a good one. I like this one.
Okay.
General Q&A. What are 3 low-cost / low-effort things that taprooms or bars could do to make the space more inclusive?
Oh,
I like that.
Putting like free stuff in the toilets, so like sanitary products, other bits and pieces, like maybe hand sanitizer, wipes, something like that, tissues, bits and pieces that people might get caught short without, but just is something that's thoughtful to have in the bathrooms. I feel like something simple like having a look at the layout of the room and seeing if you can have like an area that's a bit more quiet and an area that's a bit louder for people that want to sit and talk, or people with hearing difficulties who need to be in a quieter space. Maybe you could kind of make the room a bit more like that, and just like having things up that just show that you're supportive of different communities. Like we said, like having a rainbow sticker in your window. I mean, obviously you have got to then be supportive of that community, but just things like that, or having a brave noise sticker in your window or something like that just shows that you're willing to be open to those different communities, and that yours is a space that those communities can find community in.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, all the ones you just named were very similar. Like, I had pretty much identical things that came to my mind were very similar. Like, my first one was about the sticker, like the rainbow sticker on the door, a code of conduct on the door.
Yeah.
Because that's so, like, print something out if you have to. Like, that is the lowest, the bare minimum lowest effort that you can do without having to spend more than, a fiver on supplies, But keeping those things to the side, because obviously trying to come up with 3 different things, I think personally making sure your tables are appropriately spaced out. Because making space to move, because that is regardless of whether you are a wheelchair user or somebody that is coming in with a pram, or somebody that it might be dog friendly and you want to be able to take your dog, and you don't want to have to be worrying like, well, how close constantly is that dog to another table? Are they going to be a trip hazard to somebody else walking by? Just having the space between tables, because I think sometimes people try to pack a lot in to a small space for obvious reasons, like every seat counts. But personally, I think that is one easy way, is maybe like reduce your seating count slightly to allow for like a little bit more space in between the tables. I find there's a lot of places that don't do that, and it can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you've got tables that are really close together, so it's hard to move your chair out. And like, that's, people are all different shapes and sizes, they are all different kinds of needs, and like, if you're there with your child, for example, and trying to get your child in and out of a thing that can't really move more than a few centimeters apart, like, that's not ideal if you have a child that is constantly needing to get up to use the toilet or something like that. It's painful. And I think that's out of the ones you haven't named, that's probably number one. I think potentially, like, this is a little bit more costly, but you can do it cheap, making sure that your staff have access to materials so that they can know how to do active bystander and those kind of things. Because yes, you can pay a lot of money for it, but you can also pick things up that are more cost effective. Like, you don't have to do the full training or anything like that, and some places might offer those things free of charge as a resource to you. So I think that's something that's really, really important, and showing that somebody's there visible with an eye over things and is not just not paying attention, or staffing appropriately kind of goes hand in hand with that. If you're a space that's busier and can fit more people in, have the staff to reflect that, so that you don't have one person or 2 people overloaded behind a bar and therefore no one's actually watching what's going around on the floor. I think that's a way to make people feel safe and comfortable.
If you're going to ask for Clive and ask for Angela as well, make sure that your staff are actually briefed, know what it means. Like, they did the study recently in London, didn't they, where they went round to a lot of places that had it, and like a significant number, when they actually tested it, people didn't know what it meant or how to deal with it. So just putting that poster up in the toilets doesn't mean that you're actually helping. Like, your staff need to be aware that if someone comes and says that to them, what are they supposed to do about it? What are their responsibilities, and how can they help those people doing that?
Yeah, agree. And I think my third one, if I had to think of something that is, again, low cost comparatively, because obviously there's probably loads of stuff you can do, but it will require a little bit more financial backing on that. I think keep in mind a variety. So obviously it's one thing to say, oh, hire a diverse range of staff. Like, that's easier said than done. Like, you can't control who's applying for things, who's more qualified than who. What you can do, though, is when you are picking events, maybe try to pick events, a diverse range of events that might be more reaching a wider range of people, so that a wider range of people start wanting to come to your space. And I think visibility is what promotes more diversity. So you kind of have to you know how people say like this, if you can see it you can be it sort of thing. You can't control what staff work behind your bar necessarily, like you only have so much control over that. And sometimes you take photos of a diverse range of audience at your brewery, but sometimes that can land in a way that doesn't seem the most genuine. That, you know, people know when it's disingenuous, but sometimes people can kind of go, oh, was that on a day that you had a big crowd and you just happened to take those photos? What you can do is host a range of events that will kind of invite all different kinds of people to the different kinds of events. And then when they see what a great space you have, they're more likely to want to come back with their friends. Or if they go, oh, they offer really cool events, even stuff I'm interested in, that's not just the football match on.
Right.
I think those can be, I think like you tend to be safe from just that kind of stuff at tap rooms. But sometimes I think they forget to make a variety, or they don't realize how many things that they can do. There's lots of breweries in the US that do so you've got like the sip and paints that you can do, which that will bring in a diverse range of people, and you can collaborate with other smaller businesses that host those things, so you can get some synergy going. Or like in the US they do a lot of like Lego builds, so again you kind of go like, oh, that's another hobby that again would bring a wide variety of people in, and they could be drinking and building something, and, you know, game nights, all kinds of stuff.
Silent book club, homebrew club, bottle shares. You know, there's the low-key tap room near me sometimes does like a scribbles and sip. So there's one so they do a stitching one, they do an art one, and they do like a writing one as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I even stuff like Siren used to do, and I don't know if they ever started doing it again, but I've seen it done at a few places as well. Like vinyl night, where it would be you can bring your own vinyl, you bring it joins the queue, and eventually you get to play, you know, I don't know if there's one side or both sides of the record that you've brought, basically. And yeah, it's just another little thing that adds the sense of like community and involvement. So like, it's just, I think there's so many more creative things that people can do, but they tend to just go for some of the low hanging fruit that maybe doesn't invite a larger diverse range. And when you have those events, don't make it where like the only space there is for those events. Like, you're never going to draw somebody in to those events by basically being like the whole evening is just about that one event. Like, they should have a dedicated space, but actually if you pull it off right, somebody might attend not knowing that event's going on. They might be curious about it, and they might go, oh, let me listen to that. If it's not their thing, they might then go and share it with somebody else who it is their thing, and they go, oh, it's a low pressure environment where you can go try a new hobby while drinking a beer. And yeah, I think that's probably my 3 to pick a diverse range from what you picked.
I like it.
I liked that one in particular. Should I do one more? End on one more? Oh, that was a good one, though. I wish we ended on that one.
That was a really good one.
This one's tiny. If this one's crap, I'm throwing it back in, because that was a good one. Oh, this one was one that's left over from Halloween.
Okay.
If you could bring back any dearly departed brewery as part of a Halloween ritual, what brewery would it be?
Top Rope, so we could make an ice cream pale ale with them.
That's a really good one. I feel like I will pick something different, but I really like that one. I will pick Boutiliers.
Yeah.
Just because they were lovely and they had anime references in their beers, and I'm jealous that you still have a one-winged angel.
I drank it.
I'm not jealous anymore now. I'm just sad.
That was my drink the oldest beer in your fridge last year.
Oh, just some of the beers, but I still have some Boutiliers beers that I've acquired. But yeah, that's probably the one that I'd resurrect. Although, like yours, I want to make an ice cream pale ale. And the wrestling chat. I will never forget the wrestling chat we have. I've been watching the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. Just some of the stuff is wild. And I just remember, like, it was funny because I remember when we recorded for the Top Rope episode, and I was just like, I know way more about wrestling than I thought I knew. But then I kind of forgot about it until I watched this documentary, and I was like, wow, I know a lot more about wrestling than I thought I knew.
Yeah.
even more than I thought I knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. Those are 2 good questions. I like those.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right. So, Tori, if people want to hire Rick to do them a blind tasting, because he's obviously very good at it, where can they get hold of you?
Yeah, I won't give his details. You'll have to go through me. I'm the gatekeeper. I'm going to put the fee out there. He's gonna charge. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_hoptimism, or you can email me at adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com. I've started creating a brand new blog from scratch. And the first one that I'm starting to outline post-wise now is the beer spa that we went to accompany the podcast episode. Hopefully by the time the podcast episode comes out, I will have written the thing, because if I haven't written the thing in however many weeks,
You're not going to do it.
Have wasted money on a domain. I've wasted time. I've wasted my friend's time. I've wasted, again, so much money. So let's hope that it's there and I can share with you in the coming weeks. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you want to find both Joe and I to recommend other ways that we can put twists on how to do mystery beers instead of us sending it to each other or us ordering from a brewery or having our husbands do it, what are some other creative ways that are safe that we can also do mystery beers? You can message us on Instagram or Facebook at A Woman's Brew, or you can email us at awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com. Joe, if people want to see that photo of the Leaning Tower of Budweiser, where can people find you?
You can find me. I've posted it on my Instagram. I am Love Beer Learning. Come and find it there. It's also on Facebook, but mostly you'll find me on Instagram. You can also come to my website where there is a blog. I haven't posted anything on it in a while, but there's some interesting bits there about beer tasting that you might want to visit. That is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or you can email me lovebeerlearning@gmail.com.
We're revamping things. We keep eyes out. I'm very excited. I've got a little emoji me that pops up when you have it in your web browser. This is exciting. Wow. Keep eyes peeled.
All right, on that note,
cheers.